This ethereal and haunting image, Deadfall Trap Figure 4, presents what appears to be a carefully constructed deadfall trap, set against a barren, dreamlike landscape. The light, washed-out tones create a sense of impermanence, as if this structure exists on the edge of dissolution, an artifact caught between reality and memory. At first glance, the construction of the trap seems precise, its components deliberately arranged, wooden beams, bound rocks, and trigger mechanisms all placed in anticipation of an unseen target. However, on closer examination, the structure appears brittle, almost spectral, as if it is a remnant of something long abandoned. The landscape behind it is vast and empty, stretching toward a distant horizon where faint hills or dunes rise. The muted colors, almost watercolor-like in their softness, give the impression that this scene is dissolving, or perhaps has already faded into the past. Despite its apparent function, the trap itself does not feel threatening. It feels ceremonial, an artifact left behind, waiting indefinitely for something that may never come. In Zen, the notion of control is often seen as illusory. A trap, by design, embodies control. It attempts to dictate the movement of another being, to anticipate its actions and capture it within a structured mechanism. Yet this trap, delicate and dissolving into the landscape, challenges that assumption. This image can be seen as a metaphor for the futility of grasping too tightly. We build elaborate constructs in an attempt to shape the world around us. Yet, time erodes all structures, both physical and mental. Zen encourages us to recognize this impermanence, to move beyond the need to control outcomes, and instead embrace the flow of existence. If the trap is a symbol of control, then its fragile, faded presence suggests that true wisdom lies in letting go. This painting resonates with hexagram 29, Kan, the abysmal water, a symbol of uncertainty and perseverance. It teaches that life is filled with dangers and pitfalls, yet the path through them is not to resist, but to flow like water. A deadfall trap relies on tension, on waiting, on the precise moment when a force trips the balance. Yet, in the I Ching, water erodes even the strongest of constructions. The lesson here is that fixation on control, on maintaining rigid systems, is ultimately an unsustainable pursuit. Another relevant hexagram is hexagram 23, Po, splitting apart, the sign of decay and impermanence. It suggests that rigid structures inevitably collapse, and that wisdom comes in recognizing when to let go, rather than attempting to reinforce something that is destined to fall. The softest thing in the universe overcomes the hardest thing in the universe. Lao Tzu. This painting evokes the paradox of strength and weakness. The trap, though built with intent and design, is powerless against time and dissolution. The vast, open landscape around it stands as a reminder that nature does not cling. It simply shifts and reshapes itself. Taoist wisdom teaches that true power lies in adaptability, not in rigid structures. The question this painting poses is, are you clinging to a trap you have set for yourself? Have you constructed expectations, fears, or control mechanisms that are ultimately unnecessary? We write about how humans construct narratives to give themselves a sense of security. Yet these narratives are fragile and often based on illusion. This trap, standing alone in an empty landscape, could represent such a narrative, built with intent, but ultimately ineffective in controlling the uncontrollable. Perhaps creativity itself is a kind of deadfall trap. When we chase an idea too forcefully, it eludes us, but when we let go, inspiration arrives unexpectedly. This painting is a meditation on transience. The trap represents our desire to fix the world in place, to impose order, to capture something before it slips away. Yet the landscape around it whispers a different truth. All things shift, all structures decay, and in the end, what remains is not what we built, but how we moved through it. The trap may still be waiting for something to trip its mechanism, but perhaps the only thing it has truly caught is the passage of time itself. Consider what traps you may have built in your own life. Expectations, rigid plans, attempts to control the uncontrollable. Are these structures still serving you, or have they become unnecessary burdens? For one day, practice letting go. Choose an aspect of your life where you have been gripping too tightly and allow it to unfold naturally. You may find that, like the landscape in this painting, the world moves forward regardless, and in that movement, there is freedom.